Hey, it's Greg here with MaritimeGardening.com, and I was just checking on my peas here. I wanted to do a short video just speaking to what you might call sowers' anxiety or planting anxiety, or I don't know quite the term you would use for this, but that concern that gardeners have when they sow something and it hasn't germinated and they start wondering, oh, did I do something wrong? Was it too early? Are the seeds still viable? Blah, 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 blah. Number one, it depends on what you've planted and how tough that seed is. This time of year, as you can see, there's snow on the ground. We had a snowstorm this week, so the conditions are less than ideal. So this is a garden behind me where I planted peas just shy of 2 weeks ago, maybe 12 days ago. And you know, if you put a pea in a moist environment and give it the right amount of heat, in less than a week it should start to show some sort of activity. And I just did a little dig through here checking around, and the peas in this garden that I sowed 12 days ago, give or take, still aren't showing any more signs of life than they showed last weekend when I did my garden update video. So I should be like, oh no, are they dead? Look, certain kinds of plants are just tough. Certain kinds of seeds are tough. They can take being frozen, they can take being thawed, they can take it, right? And peas are one such plant. Do I have 100% confidence that these are going to germinate next week or after a few good days? No, but I have 95% confidence that they will, because my experience is that peas are tough and they can take it. Same with the kale I sowed last November that is growing right now under a little plastic, piece of plastic. Same with the parsnips that I sowed in this garden over here. And same with the parsnips and all that sort of stuff. Certain kinds of seeds are tough, and they can take being frozen and thawed. In some cases, they may even prefer that. Certainly, there's certain kinds of things you plant in a garden that need to be stratified. They need to have a period where they're wet and really, really cold, if not frozen. And they like it and they don't mind it, and in some cases they need it. And there's other kinds of plants like squash, beans, can't take being wet and cold at all, and it'll just kill the seed. Nothing will happen. But generally speaking, the point I'm trying to make is, like it says on the mug I bought at a dollar store a couple weeks ago, keep calm and garden on, right? Just take it easy, relax, be confident. The peas I planted in this bed here, I did a video when I sowed them. It didn't come across properly in the video, but in this bed where I sowed them, the soil had only thawed out about 1 or 2 inches down. It was ice from that point down. And a lot of the beds where I've sown things were like that, right? And like the lettuce, if you watch my garden update video or my garden tour video, the one I just did very recently, the lettuce is growing, the spinach is growing, even though when I sowed it, there was ice, frozen soil a couple inches down and all the way down, for however long that goes. Those things, I had complete confidence in those things because they're tough and they can take that sort of thing and they don't mind it, and they're just the kind of plant that doesn't mind that at all, and they're growing. So I planted these peas, about 2 weeks later than that, and it's been about 2 weeks since I planted them, and there's nothing sort of coming out of the seed, right? The seed hasn't begun to germinate, but I'm still completely confident that they're going to. They just need the right amount of heat for that to happen. We had a really cold week this past week, as you can see, with all this snow, and we didn't get a lot of sunlight this week. It was just overcast and snowy, and just very wintry. Even though it's almost the middle of April right now, it was a very wintry sort of week. They even closed the school. A lot of the schools in the province were shut down from the snow, and I had to shovel my driveway, that sort of stuff. But I am still confident that these seeds are going to get going. So all I'm doing right now, I just popped the lids off and took the ice off, and I'm going to put a little bit of water. I don't think they need the water, but I'm going to put a little bit of water on there because the water is warmer. So when I checked them this morning, I didn't bother walking you through, but I did a little check around. I pulled out a couple seeds just to see if they germinated at all. Doesn't look like anything's happening, but the soil that they're in was frosted, right? The soil was semi-frozen. So by throwing a little bit of water on here and putting the plastic lids back on, this water is warmer than the soil, obviously, because it's not frozen. So that'll warm them up a little bit. I'll put the plastic over it. That'll take advantage of all this nice sun. We're supposed to have sun today, tomorrow, and the next day. Some good sun, and hopefully something will happen back in that frame of time. And people have said, "Oh, you should get them started indoors and put them under paper and that sort of stuff." And then that can work. And if you want to do that, that can work. But I just find it's easier to just stick the seeds in the ground, make a little microclimate, and let things happen when it's going to happen. The seed will come along when it's ready to come along. For me, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to germinate something indoors where it's 20 degrees, right, room temperature, and then bring them out to this freezing hellscape, right, and have them sort of adapt to that. That seems like an incredible amount of shock. So for me, because I know pea seeds are tough, I'll stick them in the ground here. There's going to be a bit of frosting overnight and so on and so forth. But when things are right, those seeds are going to grow. I mean, I'll follow up if this all fails. I'll own up to it. But I've done this lots of times. It seems to work most of the time. So I'll follow up. So my point is, just take it easy. If you're growing something that can take the cold, a lot of things on a seed pack, it'll say plant as soon as the soil can be worked. Generally speaking, I'm not going to say it in 99% of cases, when it says that on the seed package, it means that's a seed that can take frosted nights, cold nights, it can take it. And it might not germinate right away, but that's just because it's waiting for things to be right. And every seed's different, and every seed's got its own sort of cycle that it takes. But when things are right, it'll come along. Just take it easy, relax, it'll all work out. So I hope that was useful information from you. If you're apprehensive about getting things going in your garden, if your soil can be worked and you're planting something that says plant as soon as the soil can be worked, you can put it in the ground. And if you put a little piece of plastic over it like this, it'll just make things happen a little bit quicker. A lot of things, like if you were to, let's say you had a garden bed that was just bare earth and the earth was workable, and you've planted carrots or Swiss chard or let's say parsnips in there. They might take a month to germinate because it's just not warm enough for that seed to germinate. But the seed will not die. It'll just wait. I don't exactly know what's going on in that seed, but the seed will just wait for things to be right, just like in nature, right? All kinds of seeds fall out of the sky through various means, and they don't germinate until things are right, and then they do. And some of them don't, and some of them do, and it all seems to work out fine in nature. And if you're, you can adapt. You can adapt your garden to take advantage of that as well. And the main reason to do that is just there's so much less to do when the season's full on, right? This obviously garden season is not full on right now. There's still a lot of things that have to happen. There's still a lot of ice in the ground and that sort of stuff. But there's things you can do. And if things aren't working along the schedule that you think they should, like a pea should germinate in 5 days or whatever, it just needs more time. Just be patient, it'll happen. So I hope you found it interesting. If you did, please like, share, subscribe. Check out my podcast, maritimegardening.com. And until next time, get out there, get at it, have fun in your garden. Thanks for watching.